Alright, where do I want to go next? Let's go here. There's a lot going on in the square. No frenemies or great team, apparently. So we'll just do all the extra biddies.
Wow, things are really looking up. It's much easier to conduct business nowadays.
It's admirable for that kid who spoke up despite how the town was.
Yeah, and I heard it was a great drinking contest. I should challenge him next time I see him at the tavern.
You will lose. Jet's got that iron stomach going on. I didn't think the day would come when wolves and hawks cooperated to hold the masquerade. I hope things will go on in a positive direction from now on. I like that she's still worried. She is me. Like, things are going so well, but I'm just like, I'm worried. Honestly.
I never thought the day would come when wolves and hawks would eat and drink together.
Agreed. But I like how it is now.
The hawks should continue to defend order in the town. But the wolves pack mentality isn't too bad either.
I like that those two conversations almost started off exactly the same. Ah, Hoodlum. How are you doing, sir?
Gah! I don't think anything of it! All of you are just letting it get to your head about it. Damn! You're making it harder to booze it up!
Well, at least he'll be prepared when things go horribly wrong, I guess.
Things are really looking up. If it goes on like this, the witch might have to go elsewhere.
That's positivity. It seems like everyone is getting along better now. I thought that would be impossible until a little while ago. It's all thanks to him. I better treat him to something as thanks the next time I see him. You better. I haven't seen you in a hot minute, townswoman. Is this Haku? The mysterious Haku.
Ho ho ho! Oh, excuse me. You should know that better than me, do you not? This is a nice atmosphere. I'm looking forward to what may be in store.
Why did you start off with a ho ho ho? Are you okay, sir? How's my girl? What's your one wish? My wish? There can only be one. It's to create the ideal town with father and brother. That is my wish. But if it really can be true, there's... I mean, you didn't hear that. I'm still impressed that, as in the throes of a crush as you are, you still thought of your dad and brother first, so kudos to you, T. And what's your wish, Levi?
A wish? That would be for my family and the townspeople to have an easier life. Mother and Lavon are trying to shape the town a certain way, and I want to help them achieve that. Yeah, I can't think of anything besides that.
Alright, Levi's very sincere. Doesn't have a selfish wish at all. Alright, what about the church? What's happening there? Least favorites. That one's locked. Okay.
That would be fine. People have always helped one another out. There are customs that must never be forgotten, but I believe there are also customs that need to be reconsidered.
I don't even know what you said. I don't even know, like, what you were answering there, old woman.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits right now, but there is no way the wolves and hawks can come to terms that easily. I have no intention of reconciling with them. The youngsters appear to be happy at the situation, but it won't last. Just you watch.
Unfortunately, I'm with the cynical townsman on this one. I'm like, nope. Things are going too well. It's gonna explode. Oh no. Yes, tell me. Tell me, Lawrence, what do you look for in a girl?
My preferences in women? Well, someone I'd want to have a family with, someone who does her very best, and I guess she could be a bit of a crybaby. But I'd like to comfort her when she's sad. I'd like to laugh with her when she's happy. Someone like that.
Aw, how kind of him. I wonder who he's talking about. Huh? I opened the door and noticed someone. It wasn't Lawrence or Elric, but someone else familiar. I didn't think I'd find you here, Lavon.
You too. Did you have business with Lawrence? If you wait a little, I think he'll be back soon.
It's nothing big. Are you here to keep watch over the church?
I happened to visit when Lawrence was stepping out. I guess you could say I'm the church's current caretaker.
Lavon turned to the altar, and I thought I could hear a quiet mumbling. You're quite pious.
Piety is not the right word for it. This place is an important location in the town. Here, people can have peace of mind without worrying about a fight breaking out. Because the two factions are in opposition now, this place holds a profound meaning.
Right. Though there aren't many people who visit regularly anymore.
That can't be helped. It's not something you can force someone to do.
I thought about it and looked down. Lavon continued.
A town thrives with people, while the people thrive with their hearts. This is the perfect place to bring together people's hearts, but it's difficult to match up ideals with reality.
Lavon continued talking, but he hardly looked at me. I was sure he was just trying to organize his thoughts while he spoke. Did he come here thinking of all that? When I looked at the side of his face, he reminded me of Francisca. Francisca knew this town well, though she wasn't the type to talk about it much. Lavon took after her stoic approach to it. Lavon, you always think about everyone else. I think that's amazing. I come to the church often, but I've never thought of it that way.
It's not that I thought of these things on my own. I'm brought to them through my responsibilities as the next lord.
Just having that viewpoint is more than enough.
I see. It's not a bad feeling, being complimented. I'll just leave it at that.
Lavon changed the subject along with his tone of voice.
Anyway, are you going to wait until Lawrence gets back? If so, can you take my place in watching over the church?
I don't mind. So you were staying to watch the church, then?
Lawrence said he was going out, so I could make myself at home.
That sounds like something he would say. I don't think there would be anything worth stealing here. And just at that moment, there was a giant diamond. I wasn't trying to be nosy, but I moved closer to look around the altar. It wasn't like this place had any gold candlesticks or silver decorative ornaments. It was plain and obviously frugally minded. Just as you said, this is a place where people come to pray in silence.
Sure, I suppose.
What do you mean? Lavon glanced at me with an embarrassed look.
In the past, weddings were held here. I rarely see anyone holding a ceremony nowadays.
Weddings? Here?
Yes.
Oh. I've never seen a wedding before. Have you, Lavon?
I've seen a few while passing by. There were people gathered, and they were always lively.
I see. I've read about them before. Everything was decorated with flowers, and the two exchanged their vows of love, receiving everyone's blessings for a happy future. I love that he's in a church, sees this girl, and starts immediately thinking about a wedding. What a boy. The picture of the husband and wife being surrounded by a crowd of people seems so happy.
At that time, I was only a passerby, but they asked me to give them a blessing, and they even treated me to food.
Oh? I wondered if that was how it was. I could see why they'd feel happier if there were more people celebrating with them. I wanted to listen about it some more, but it might be strange if I was too interested in it.
The bride and groom both dressed up, and they served fruit and different kinds of dishes I'd never seen before.
Lavon glanced at me and continued talking without my asking. Oh, is that right? Were the decorations really elaborate?
There were certainly a lot of flowers. Some may have been handmade, but at least the ones the bride held were real.
The bride's bouquet. The bride must have been beautiful.
I guess so. They took a long time to prepare for that special day.
Preparing for the wedding sounds like a lot of work, but also like a lot of fun. What kind of dress would be worn? What kind of meals should be served? What decorations would be needed? And they'd wonder about how they would exchange their vows. Just thinking about that made me excited. But if that actually happened, I'd be more nervous than... No! I mean, I just thought the ceremony would be nerve-wracking. There's lots of stuff to do, right?
I think so. But from what I saw, there didn't seem to be anything too difficult.
Really? How was it? If you don't remember, that's fine. I was just a bit interested, that's all.
I remember most of it.
Lavon said that while walking up to the altar. I followed to stand next to him. Please, if you guys are gonna, reenact what happened and she's, in the bride's place, I'm gonna freaking die just now, okay?
The ceremony was done with the priest as the witness. That's why it's usually done in front of the altar, like this.
In front of the altar.
The bride and groom approach each other, and they exchange their vows.
Like so? Lavon pointed out each of the specific parts. Standing in the middle of the church in front of the altar gave an awe-inspiring feeling. I see. Then what happened?
And then... Not there. Come over here.
He led me by the hand and we exchanged places. I knew it! He totally knows. He's like, you're the bride, so you gotta be, here, and I gotta be here in the groom's position. Stop! I love it so much. Yee. Alright, he led me by the hand and we exchanged places. Lavon's expression seemed to change for a split second, but he quickly continued.
The bride and groom face each other, with the priest behind the altar.
What about the other people?
They're watching from a distance.
This sounds really nerve-wracking.
I'm sure it is. It's something the people might have witnessed numerous times in their lives.
So when the priest says something, the marriage is valid?
It's more like... when the two exchange their vows, the marriage is sealed.
What do you mean by vows? Are there specific lines for that? Or... Oh. I noticed that Lavon looked troubled. Sorry! I didn't mean to ask.
It's all right.
Lavon sighed a bit and looked over at the altar. If the priest were here, he'd be around there.
I don't remember the details, but the priest would talk about the mindset of marriage, and also offer a prayer. The really long and annoying kind. Once that's over, then the bride and groom exchange their vows.
Vows?
Each of them will swear eternal love for each other. You then say yes or no to it.
Lavon looked back at me with such a serious expression that I got the sudden urge to tease him. Is there anyone who would say no after coming this far?
I doubt it, but it's important to affirm it out loud.
I guess so.
You swear in front of God and everyone else to love your spouse until death do you part.
I didn't know why, but my pulse had become strangely quick. I had the feeling that I didn't need to hear all the details Lavon spoke about. Lavon. He held my left hand as if he didn't hear me. Ah! There was something so gentle about the way he did it that my heart jumped.
The bride and groom have to prepare matching rings before the ceremony. They then put it on each other's ring fingers.
Lavon caressed my ring finger, damn! I am in such a bucket of sugar right now. I'm just like, yee! Yee! Right. I get it now. Matching rings, right? Well, what should I do? This is getting embarrassing. But I was the one who asked.
They help the other put their rings on, as if to say they will help each other.
Lavon delicately explained each step. The serious tone of his voice sounded like a vow to me. Oh, right, I forgot about the most important part.
They exchange their vows and rings. Then...
Lavon's hand, which was gently touching my ring finger, suddenly held me firmly. By the time I realized it, our distance had closed. His serious eyes looked down on mine. Ah!
Next, they exchange a kiss.
I didn't even have time to feel surprised. No way, really. Before I could utter another sound, our two silhouettes moved closer. I hate that this is going to be interrupted. But we separated before our shadows could overlap. Ooh. Really? No one interrupted it? You guys just, like, stopped? Damn. Damn.
Did that surprise you? Well, that's about how it's supposed to go.
Uh-huh. Thanks for explaining, Lavon. I get it now. I tried my best to feign calmness. Lavon was wearing his usual smile. Rude. Rude, you cheeky bugger. You cheeky bugger. Did he think I was strange for asking so much about it? But there was something different about him, too. I hope he didn't realize.
It was unnecessary to try to reenact it together. You're a man, after all.
It sounded serious, but he laughed. I let out a sigh of relief. He still believed me to be a man. Nope. Nope. Nope, he gave you the chance to, like, admit to something, and you said, Well, I moved back to our usual distance and turned toward the church's entrance. Lawrence isn't back yet. I wonder where he'd go, leaving the heir to the wolves behind.
I was the one who paid him a visit, so it's all right. Besides, I wanted to come in here for a little break anyway.
Just taking a breather in between jobs?
Something like that.
Lavon and I continued to small talk in our usual way. We spoke about Levi, Francisca, work, and more. We shared stupid jokes and what happened around town. As we continued to do that, I started to feel like my usual self again. Yeah, this is how it's supposed to be between Lavon and me. But I would remember the reenactment of a wedding ceremony I did with him for quite some time. Lavon's firm expression and his vows remain fixed in my memory. Ooh, we cleared half of all short episodes. Nice. I freaking bet anything Lawrence was hiding behind a pillar and was like, I'm not going to interrupt them. I'll let them just, cook a little longer. He would totally do that. Whew, that was a good one. That was a good short episode. I like that one. I entered the church and took a deep breath. The calm atmosphere helped me feel at ease. I let out a sigh of relief. I didn't see Lawrence or Elric anywhere. I walked down the aisle and passed by an old man who nodded to me. The church is really calming. I sat down on a chair and looked around the church. I suddenly felt so relaxed. It was right after hustling through a job, so perhaps I was feeling extra tired. Possibly. I'm getting sleepy. I couldn't let myself fall asleep here. I shook my head, but it didn't help. So many things have happened recently. I tried to make an excuse for myself. The fighting between the wolves and the hawks had calmed down for the time being, but I still hadn't found the Kaleidovia. Because I sometimes dressed as a man or a woman, there were more things I had to keep in mind. I needed to continue doing my regular work, or else I wouldn't even be able to earn any income. The more I thought about it, the more my head hurt. But it was also a fact that I was feeling fulfilled. Getting everyone to come together to enjoy the masquerade is slowly coming true. But I'll need to find the Kaleidovia for that to truly happen. As I continued to think, my consciousness faded, taking me into a dream world. Okay. Are we seeing this from Lavon's perspective, or...?
My eyes caught on something as I was scanning the room. Now why would you fall asleep here? The impulse of waking you up and feelings of sheer luck came together in my heart. There was no one else in the church, so the latter was much stronger. I slowly crouched. We were the only ones here. I gave thanks to this serene atmosphere. The calm of the air won't ignite the smoldering embers within me.
Whoo, yeah, go on, Lavon.
I held my breath in silence.
Hi. Just leaning over you, like, no big deal. You even took off your gloves so you had, like, skin-to-skin contact. Dude, my dude, you have it bad.
I moved my face closer to hear you breathe. That pale skin, your lowered eyelashes, short hair the color of the night that slid right through when I touched it. I moved my fingers a bit lower and then stopped. I touched your soft hair once more to check your temperature. Warm. A gentle sort of warmth. I felt both your warmth and your soft breathing on my skin. I thought that was enough for me. But right now, that small whisper echoed only between us. I stroked your head, filled with a certain emotion.
Yeah? Don't give the look like you just got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, sir.
I heard a sound from the door behind me and nonchalantly stood up. How long had he been back there? I greeted him, trying to remain calm.
Don't worry, he would completely understand what you were doing. Like, 1,000% would just be like, hey, I got you, boo.
Quite the bustling place you have here. You have one parishioner who's fallen asleep. Yes. Thanks to that, I didn't even notice he came to visit. He responded with the usual smile, so I smiled back. Lawrence then said something I did not expect. Would it be better if I kept this a secret? I froze. I'd hoped he hadn't noticed. I thought about playing dumb, but my hesitation would reveal everything, so I decided against it. I would appreciate if you did. Very well. Though I would say what's kept secret is actually insignificant. He smiled back at me. I honestly could not figure this man out. You're a great liar, by the way. Although I'm not one to speak, that was very surprising. It's part of my job to talk people into things. I see. Since I pretend to be a priest, I suppose I do just the same. When he said that, I couldn't do anything but laugh. For a moment, our conversation halted, but soon enough, Lawrence broke the silence. You have to express your feelings while you still can.
Yeah, take it from this guy.
His whisper seemed to carry some weight to it. Regret. I had always lived my life in a way to have no regrets. I kept this emotion deep inside so that I wouldn't regret it. And here I was, regretting. I thought I had made the best choices. I was confident I did the right thing. But what if everything I had done was a mistake? Have you ever regretted anything? Well, it's too late for me to regret. I can't express it in mere words anymore. I see. Thank you for your advice. I know I'm just being nosy. I have no way to go but straight ahead. I find that I have to say this to all of the lost sheep. Lost sheep. We looked at each other and laughed.
I heard someone's voice. I was still sleepy. I felt like the dream world was clinging on to me like mud. I heard the kind voice that I wanted to hear again and again. I wanted to hear them one more time. I wanted to feel that warmth one more time. But I soon forgot what exactly it was that I wanted. Huh? What happened? I blinked. I rubbed my eyes and saw the chapel.
Seems the lamb has awoken.
Huh? Oh! I was asleep! I jumped up and slapped my own face. I noticed that Lavon was also there.
Good morning, Jed.
Good morning. You could have woken me up, you know.
I guess. You have drool around your mouth.
Huh? Where?
I'm kidding.
Jeez. Don't joke about stuff like that. They saw me sleeping here and teased me for it. I felt so embarrassed that my face was getting hot. Look out for your eye.
How about I make some tea? You can rest here a while. Yeah.
Huh? Lavon responded, but did not look at Lawrence. Something about this felt weird. Like they were keeping secrets. Slowly walks out while grinning. Sheesh. What were you talking about with Lawrence?
Nothing important.
He didn't say anything else. Something didn't feel right. Lavon always looked at people in the eye when talking to them. Maybe something happened, but it didn't feel right for me to ask right now.
What about you? Were you dreaming of something?
Huh? Well, was I asleep for that long? I think I was, but maybe I wasn't. I don't remember.
I see. If you dreamt while you were in the church, it must have been a good one.
Well, I guess it wasn't a nightmare. It felt pleasant.
That's nice.
Lavon's smile was unusually gentle. I couldn't imagine him being sarcastic with that kind of expression, so my face grew hotter again. He must have seen me asleep. I hope I wasn't making any strange faces. I think it was a nice nap, regardless. Still feeling a sort of comfortable drowsiness, I spent some more time at the church.